Stay awake, Nick. Stay awake.
The Perpetual Breakaway Podcast with your hosts Nick and Junior and producer Vince, bringing you elite fantasy hockey information to help you win your fantasy leagues and win at life.
Episode 96. I'm going to put it out there right away. The Pavel Bure of episodes.
Ooh, Pavel Bure. That was an easy one over there.
Really? That you find that easier than Mikko Rantanen?
Ooh. I should have had that one.
Phil Housley?
You know what? When he first came into the league, there's a good chance that he was in 96.
He was.
And I'm gonna make my wife proud with this one. I hope I don't get it wrong. Wasn't Holmstrom of the Red Wings 96?
Thomas Holmstrom. Yes, he was. 96 was a very popular number. And there's even the Conway from the Mighty Ducks movie.
Yeah, that should have been probably the easiest one.
Yeah, Thomas.
What was that small guy in Minnesota? The small guy in Minnesota, he wore 96. He was French Canadian. Come on. Pierre-Marc Bouchard. Was it Pierre-Marc Bouchard? Then he played with Brunette. Anyhow, I think he was 96. Anyhow, no, we are not talking of the Minnesota Wild. We are talking of the Philadelphia Flyers and the New York Islanders today. So just to give you guys a breakdown of the segments, we're going to do an intro and team overview, roster and lineup breakdown, goaltending outlook, power play and top scorers, a nice over-under quiz on point projections or goal projections, prospects to watch, and lastly, if we have any season predictions or hot takes, which I'm pretty sure we failed to do when we did Pittsburgh. But
no, we had a hot take.
Oh, no, we had a hot take. We just didn't. Yeah, and we had a projection as well. So forget what I said. Let's get right into it with the Philadelphia Flyers. Okay, so new coach. Sophomore season for one of the most entertaining rookies last year.
You were right about Pierre-Marc Bouchard, by the way.
Oh, thank you. 3 for 3, Junior. Wow. Okay, so new coach, Rick Tocchet comes in. He has a bit of a younger roster. Even then, they're kind of doing a retool on the fly. I would say almost a la Washington Capitals a little bit. Just to have more of the younger pieces that are in the lineup. Since Briere has come in, he's made some changes. He's added some youth. Are they still trending upwards? Do you feel they're a little stagnant now, or I wouldn't say they're trending down, but I'm going to ask you: are they trending down? So
who are you asking?
I'll ask you, Vince. Are they trending upwards? Are they a little bit stagnant right now, or do you think they're actually trending downwards?
No. I think Philly's definitely trending upwards. I mean, Torts is out of the picture. I think he did some good things in Philly, but I think some people got a bit fed up in there. But I definitely think they're trending up. The young players seem like are adapting well. They traded for Trevor Zegras, so I think they're trending up. We forget they have Drysdale, man. Drysdale was drafted 4th overall. The one problem in Philly, which seems to be a big problem since Hextall, is goaltending.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to that. But that's one position that I would say is either stagnant or trending down.
Well, I'll say that they're trending up for sure. And it's not really the coaching thing. I mean, sure, whatever, Tortorella. But, I mean, you have a young guy in Michkov. You have Konechny that has played really well, and we're going to get into the top 6 here. But there's real opportunity here. I thought they had a pretty good draft as well. Mm-hmm. I'm expecting them to continue going upwards, and there's going to be a few guys that we're going to talk about later in the prospects rankings, maybe that are the future of Philadelphia. So there's still more coming. They're not set in stone as they are right now. Maybe for this year, they're not going to be a playoff team. I mean, we pretty much know that. Although crazier things have happened before, there's still some fantasy relevant players on this team.
Okay, so that was going to be my next question. And there's a lot of players on this team that like it's now or never to take the next step. And obviously these players were acquired, and we're going to get to maybe over unders a little bit later when we talk about the top 6. So I don't want to go into detail, but considering what we know, I mean, there's maybe like two, maybe three guys that you can say are draftable in terms of fantasy points production. Or am I wrong? And do you think that you can rely on them a little bit more than just for those 2-3 players? Again, we're talking mainly just goals, assists, points, shots on goal. Like we're not talking peripherals much because there's some guys that could help there, but players that stand out from a fantasy perspective.
So you're only talking to a small amount of the fantasy players.
No, because those are the prominent players. Then you start looking at peripherals after, and yeah, I mean, even those guys with peripherals, you're not drafting them right away. You're drafting them later in the rounds, right?
Yeah, I mean 3-4 is pretty fair.
Okay, Vince.
Yeah, 3-4. Like you said, there's some guys that this is break it or take it season, right? So it's either they're in or out. So I think there might be a little more that you might want to take a chance on. But yeah, it's around that number.
Okay, so let's jump right into the top 6, Nick. Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's see
so
where we how we feel about this.
so they've had a couple of guys that have entered the top 6 that they've acquired, and we're assuming obviously that Zegras is going to be a top 6 player for this team, right? Then we take a look at guys like Christian Dvorak, and they're paying him like a top sixer. So I'm assuming they're going to have him as a top sixer.
Well, he was one of my 2 guys that I would pick for fantasy.
Yeah.
It's a joke, Nick. It's a joke.
Yeah, well, definitely in a face-off league.
Yeah,
You
face
can't
off.
go wrong with Christian Dvorak. But he doesn't provide much else.
I can't believe you took me seriously. That's insulting.
Well, because he has a chance of being a top sixer here. And if you're a top sixer, you could be fantasy relevant. But either way, Sean Couturier is obviously your top line center again. I don't think he's actually top line center caliber anymore, but they don't have a whole lot else available for them. Their strength is really on the wing. Travis Konechny, staple in the top 6. Matvei Michkov, staple in the top 6. Zegras, who came in this year, staple. Owen Tippett, staple in the top 6. Although he did have a couple of times that you kind of started questioning there. But I think that's pretty much where you're at. Also, it's very sad news that Forster is going to be out for quite a while.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. What happened?
And
he had an infection, if I'm not mistaken, that was more serious than they thought. So they're not sure right now whether how long he's going to be out for. They're still doing tests, but there's a chance he might be out until Christmas.
Wow. So take note of that, listeners. Forrester out for at least till Christmas.
Might. They're doing further testing, Junior.
All right, we're TMZ. He's out.
Okay.
Sorry, Nick. Carry on.
Yeah, so it really comes down to the fact that without Forrester there, you're giving a chance to some of these wingers to really pick it up again. And I think this is Owen Tippett's kind of chance now to show that he's still got it. So we'll see. But that's pretty much rounding the top 6. If Christian Dvorak ends up being a third line center, then you're looking at guys like Noah Cates. I don't think that they have their prospects are not ready yet. I don't believe in order to grab a top 6 role there. But what do you guys think about that? I mean, like you're seeing a lot of talent with the Michkovs, Konechnys, Zegrases, high shooting guys like Tippett. What do you guys think about those that top 6?
I'm curious to know if they attempt Zegras at center. Because Zegras' most successful seasons in Anaheim were when he was playing center. Although he might have been a liability in the defensive end, which is why they probably moved him to the wing. But from an offensive standpoint, he was most productive as a center. So I wonder if they give that a shot. And one guy I'm looking forward to, I think he'll have a bounce back. I think Tippett is a Rick Tocchet type of player,
Hmm.
and I think I look to Owen Tippett to have a nice season this year, rounding up that top six.
Yeah, listen, I think Mitchkov is gonna build off of the season he had last year. I don't see any regression on his part. Travis Konechny has established himself as a number one right winger for sure. The way he plays and the grit he has. Yeah, the wild cards. Listen to me. Sean Couturier could also be a wild card. The drama there was with Torts last year, where he was not dressed, or it was disastrous. But he's also 33 years old, so can he produce more than not produce more than 45 points, but can he keep up with Mitchkov and Konechny? So
And Vince, to your point, he only had 20 points in the first 42 games, and then he had 25 in 37 games
yeah,
in the second half of the season. So, which kind of coincides with when Torts almost was let go.
yeah, exactly. And like, listen, Tyson Forster, I think, is a huge loss if he misses time because 25 goals, uh,
Absolutely.
25 right just behind Mitchkov. So I think he's going to be a huge loss, but it could be an open window for Bobby Brinks maybe, or I feel Owen Tippett. I think he's in a contract year, if I'm not mistaken. Tippett, and we know when players are contract year, man, they tend to have their best season. So it's not a bad
No,
top
Vince
six.
Owen Tippett, I think, is entering the first year of a long-term deal,
You sure?
$6.2 million. In
He just
fact,
signed,
it's a second year of the deal. So
Oh, okay.
last year was the first year of an
So
eight-year
it's it.
deal.
So listen,
and they're
there's
paying him like a top sixer, right?
yeah, exactly. There's opportunity. I don't see any of their bottom six guys able to move up to the top six. That I think that's where the problem is going to be. I mean, here I have
So
Abals,
Bobby
Kate.
Brink is a good player.
Yeah.
Like Bobby Brink has a chance, but I don't. Anyways,
Besides
uh,
that, you have Delorier, you have Dvorak, and you have Hadaway. I mean, I don't think any of those players are jumping out the screen saying I could play second line or first line. So with Forster out, I think it gives them it's a huge hole for Philly.
Yeah, and it might force Zegras to the wing and put Dvorak at that
And put
center. So at
Dvorak,
least you have a balanced top six,
yeah.
and then
yeah,
you have your checking line. And yeah, I see
and I
Bobby
think if
Brink replacing Paling that they traded away in the Zegras deal with like a notch higher in potential to provide more offense.
all right, moving on to their defensemen. So this is actually a pretty interesting defensive core because there's maybe one guy that I think that Vince already mentioned has the most talent or upside, I should say, which is Jamie Drysdale. And I believe Jamie Drysdale is going to have a very good year, a bounce back year, as long as he stays healthy, of course. Travis Sanheim is the guy that's pretty much been putting up points on this team before. Nick Seeler puts up all kinds of hits and blocks. So Cam York is another one that recently signed.
But
So
was
he's
also disgruntled last year with Torts.
That's true.
uh, yeah, sure, yeah. He was kind of used on and off
Hmm.
by Torts. You're right. Zamula is interesting. Noah Juleson, it falls off pretty quickly there. But what do we think about this defensive core? Is there anybody here that is fantasy relevant? Let's start with Vince.
Listen, I'm not gonna give the Jimmy Drysdale. I think Cam York is fantasy relevant. I think he was brought in because he was gonna be their offensive guy. I think he fell. Listen, we don't know what happened with Torres. He's only 24 years old, gonna be 25. I mean, he put up 20 points in 54 games, 30 points in 82 games. Like you said, this is a defenseman. So if your defenseman get hit between 40 to 45, if you have a league where you're dressing almost a full lineup, let's say 4 to 6 defensemen, he can be one of your reserve defensemen or your fourth or sixth defenseman easily. So I truly believe that Cam York is gonna have a better season. I still, I still believe what you said, Nick, that Jimmy Drysdale is the most talented defenseman on that team, and should be leading that team, that defensive squad in points.
Yeah, yeah. So, Junior, what do you think about York and Drysdale and Sanheim and these guys?
Yeah, I think it's Drysdale's spot to lose in terms of who's going to be the provider on the back end. But again, new coach, so it's a clean slate for everybody, right? So Cam York now as a new coach, who knows? Like, does he regain his confidence? Does he now become, like, does he push Drysdale aside, or maybe there's an Emil Andre who showed flashes last year but could never really put it together consistently. Maybe that's a guy that jumps out. I feel like there's a lot of maybes on the back end. At the end of the day, I think it comes down to those three guys in terms of production, offensive production, and it's Cam York, Travis Sinheim, and Jamie Drysdale. In terms of talent, I think Drysdale has the most offensive talent on, like, the most skill on that back end, and I think in the end he'll probably prevail if he can respect Tockett's exigence, like
Tough
standards, of
love,
course.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, there's Helge Grans, who's another guy. Emil and Dry, you mentioned already. Oliver Bonk is somebody that could be a staple on that top four eventually.
Do you think he gets NHL time?
No, I
He's
don't think
20
so.
years old. I
Maybe
think
one
there's
more
other
year.
guys that have been there longer, like Andrai, who would have, and Helge Grange. Like these guys have, I think, the upper hand to get more game time. But you could never say no to Oliver Bonk, who is absolutely, I think, going to be a good top four defenseman in this league for years to come. So we'll see. We'll see. We're not at the prospect side yet, so we'll leave that for Vince later.
Yeah, how about we start with the goalies first?
Let's talk about the goalies.
Pick your third string goalie that you want to start.
Oh my god! Yes, none of them. Wow,
Wow,
this is
I think
brutal,
we were
man. This is
Nick.
brutal.
Okay, Nick. I
Guys,
like
I
look
think
at
we were offered a deal. Fedotov, Kolosov, all these
all the goalies.
ovs,
Yeah,
all the
like
ovs.
like if you look at their like,
It was
come
nuts.
on, Samuel Urson, 47 games played, 3.14 goals against average, 0.883 save percentage, 17 quality starts. Fedotov, 26 games played, 3.15 goals against average, 0.880 save percentage, quality starts 8. Kozlov, 17 games played, 3.59 goals against average, 0.867 save percentage, 5 quality starts. I mean,
It's
holy
like they're all the
moly,
same
that's
person,
really
basically.
bad.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, like, and then they go get Dan Vladar. Okay, Dan Vladar, 30 games played. Okay, he's under 3, 2.80 goals against, but 0.898 save percentage, 17 quality starts. I mean, this goalie fiesta in Philly is just, I'm gonna say, depressing. Like, really depressing, because there's an opportunity that all four of these goalies play each 20 games, because that's how just bad they are. And none of them have proven that they could take that number one spot. I mean, last year, Ursin had a chance to keep that number one spot. He couldn't. Fedotov, who everybody thought was going to come in and be the next Bobrovsky that Torch was going to turn him into, and had a god awful year. And then Kolozov, who wanted to go back to the KHL because, once again, there was friction with the Philly
he
team.
wanted
So
playing time.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know what way they go here. Like,
Did you ever see that meme with all the Spider-Mans pointing to each other?
yeah, exactly.
That's
It's
exactly what this
exactly that.
represents.
And the worst thing is, I'm gonna do my research, but I'm gonna ask Nick first. Like, where do you go with these four goalies?
Well, I think there's nowhere really that you could go other than saying that Urson is the starter
Mhm.
until further notice. Um, what does that necessarily mean? Well, not much. Um, I was taking a look here at. sorry, I had switched it to Cam York, but I was looking at the goalies before, and like you said, it's basically copy paste. Everybody has the same amount of save percentage. Urson's gonna start, and the rest are basically like they went out and they got Vladar. That's how desperate they are. So I think Vladar maybe has the best chance out of all of them to show something. But I think this is a direct. This is directly related to their defense as well.
Hmm.
We could blame all the goalies all the time, but their defense, first of all, young, right? We mentioned the Drysdales, we mentioned the Yorks, we mentioned the Zamulas. Like they have a young defense, and they're not all very defensively sound.
Hmm.
So, like I'm not sure about you guys, but none of that defense screams defensive defenseman to me,
No.
right? And I
No.
think the goalies are suffering because of it. Now, we'll see what happens with a new coach. Maybe that's gonna all change. I don't know. What do you guys think there?
Well, the Vancouver Canucks goalies usually put up decent numbers. Like we saw Silovs come in and put up good numbers. Demko has always had solid numbers. Lankinen went in and had solid numbers. And this is all under Rick Tocchet.
Hmm.
So there's something about Rick Tockett's system that helps goaltenders. I mean, you still have to have the players to play that system. I mean, I could see a little boost in production from them. And fun fact, Dan Vladar is actually younger than Fedotov. Who would have thought? And also, Dan Vladar is the only goaltender signed other than their prospect who just signed their ELC contract there, Bjarnason, who's got more than 1 year left on his contract. So Vladar has 2 years left. All other goalies have only 1 year. So they're all playing for something. That
Yeah.
could help. That could help too.
Yeah. I feel like Philly's not a playoff team, but I feel if they have an Achilles heel, it's going to be Nets.
Yeah, I imagine they get a good center in 2026 draft
Mm,
Yeah, that
to
could
go
help a
along with
lot.
some other good center prospects that they already have.
yeah.
Well, something that should improve quite a bit going into next season is their power play. We saw it improve, and we all said it would. Remember when we spoke about Mishkov last year? You're adding Zegras to the power play, so you can say what you want about Zegras, but he'll create you space and find the open lane
He's
on the
smart.
power play. Right? He's
Mm,
He's a
smart and
high high IQ, high skill player.
he's very shifty too. So you might have a power play that looks like Konechny, Zegras, Drysdale, Mishkov. And then it all depends how he wants to play his cards. Does he want to put a young guy like Bobby Brink? Does he want to put a vet like Couturier? Because, I mean, they're relatively all young. Or does he want to put a grittier presence like Owen Tippett, who's scored 30 goals before as well? So he's got
I'm
options on that first power play unit. Like, who do you guys see being the fifth member of that unit? Because I think Drysdale, Konechny, Zegras, and Mishkov are like fixtures on this power play one, correct?
I think so as well. I'm just gonna say right off the bat, you guys are gonna laugh. I'm gonna put Christian Dvorak.
This
And
guy. And then he makes fun of my Raphael
on the
Harvey
first
Pinard
power
picks.
play, Nick.
yeah, that's a horrible player that you just mentioned.
I
He's an
already know where you're going
NHLer.
with this, and it's not a bad take what you're about to say.
Well, then don't spoil it for anyone. So basically, the reason why I'm saying this is because of the fact that you want to start off your power play with possession. And who's going to get you that face-off win? Well, who was getting the face-off wins in Montreal all the time? It was Dvorak. You put this guy on your top power play, even if it's just to start the power play and then have him go off. Christian Dvorak is definitely the play I would do there. He's also somebody that can play the bumper. So for he's pretty decent at high tips as well. He's not going to be a shooter. He's not going to be a creator, but he'll win you a face-off. You'll start with possession. He'll go in front of the net and he'll block the shots. Hopefully not block them, but he'll be the one that tips them in or gives a nice shot to the
Okay, okay, Nick.
Okay, Nick.
to the
Okay, Nick.
goaltender there. You know, you know what I'm saying.
Um,
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying.
listen to me. The thing is, first thing, if you're gonna win faceoffs, you go with Sean Couturier, who's been 57% and more in the faceoff circle for the past 5 years. And Bobby Brink, I think Bobby Brink is basically there just to stand in front of the goalie and
He's
be that
small. He's not a big player.
be that net. Yeah, but he's got that gritty. Like I'm pretty sure Forster would be there more than Brink would.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, so
Yes.
I think they put Brink because they're pretty. They know that. Like you're right, Brink is. I mean, 5'8". It's not the type of player you want in front of the net. So like I don't know if they're all gonna be playing on the boards and there'll be nobody in front of the goalie. But like you put a Noah Cates who's 6'2" in front of the goalie, it might help you more. But I think this power play that you mentioned, like you said, I think it's those four guys, and that fifth guy is gonna be basically whoever can take it and run with it. Whoever takes the both by the horns and runs with it.
So Sean Couturier has equal face-off percentage
Yeah,
to Dvorak from last year. So yes, you're right. I mean, either way, you're looking at pretty much a similar player,
I just don't
right?
see. I just don't. I don't see none of them. Like right now in the like. Do you guys see? Do you guys think Konechny is the guy that they're gonna put in front of the goalie?
Could be, could be. I mean,
Maybe.
You know, because he's a bigger guy, but I,
I
I'll-
I
it'll,
I, I feel like Konechny plays the bumper and not the
hmm
guy in front of the goalie
that's true.
necessarily. But I mean, who knows? We'll see what all this. Sean Couturier also has to stay healthy.
Yeah,
He did play 79 games last year, which is very, very good. Only 74 the year before that, and obviously 29 the year before that. So
yeah, yeah. I feel that power play is all gonna go through how Drysdale does. If Drysdale has a good season, then the power
as a
play will,
quarterback,
yeah, as a quarterback, then the power play will have a good season.
yeah,
So Nick, your dark horse to get that to have a shot at power play one um, is the Vorak.
that's my dark horse. I mean, look again. If Forrester was there, I think it's a no brainer. But opportunity knocks when somebody else is out. So um, they're paying him a pretty hefty salary there. So we'll see.
Nick and Vince, for you it was Bobby Brink, or you were
Yeah.
just
Or you just put
okay.
Fedotov on skates and put him in front of goalie. It's like six
La,
foot
la,
six.
oh, yeah,
It's a hot
imagine.
take. It's a hot take, Junior.
The last question before we move on, they had the 30th best power play last year, which was, um,
Horrible.
yeah, horrible. Third to last,
Mm.
with a
30. I
15
like how you said 30th best.
or 30th worst, whatever.
You know,
Um,
third from the bottom.
third from the bottom, 15%. They add Zegras to this top unit. Do we see it improving that much more, or maybe
I
not
think Rick
that
Tocchet,
much?
adding Rick Tocchet to this team is going to
Ooh,
make things different,
good point.
right? You're focusing on Zegras, which yes, I think Zegras will automatically improve the team, but Tocchet's system could also improve the team. The way Tocchet looks at things could improve the team. So it's there's a lot of unknown. It's going to be an interesting team to watch. And I think this is a much more interesting team than some of the other teams that we did in episode 95. So
Yeah, yeah, but that power play still comes like I mean, power play points from their defensemen: two Sondheim, seven Drysdale, three Andrea, and three Restolainen. I think Lane Hudson had more points alone. Like the
well, I mean, for sure he did. He had
yeah,
66 points.
no, but on the power play, just him alone with the compared to the five defensemen that I just named. So I feel that there has to be a defenseman that moves up. If they have no defensemen that are getting points on that power play is gonna be dead last again.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Drysdale's the key here.
Yeah,
If Drysdale could pick it up, I think you're absolutely right. He's the key.
Okay, Nick. So let's move on to the over unders and some fun point projections or goal projections, depending on what you
So
have.
you know what the good thing about having guests is that if they're wrong with the over unders, it's not us that gets blamed.
Yeah.
Here we're the ones that are gonna get blamed. But whatever. I mean, we'll do what we can. So Michkov, I'm gonna start with his number one fan, producer Vince. 30.5 goals. Over or under?
30.5 goals. 30.5 goals. Last year he had 26, 37 assists. I'm gonna be a homer on Michkov and say over.
Junior.
I'm going. I'm going to go with the over as well. He had 199 shots on goal. His shooting percentage was pretty fair at 13.1. So I expect a bit of an increase. No sophomore slump for him, that's for sure. So give me 31 goals on the nose for Mishkov.
All right. So for all you Philadelphia Flyers fans that think that we're just half Habs fans and we don't like Michkov, that's not true at all. We love this guy. It's just you we don't like. Trevor Zegras, 49.5 points. Over under. Vince, we'll start with you
Oh
again.
man, Zegras. 45. What's it?
49 and a
45.
half.
49 and a half. For 2 years, he was on pace for 67 and 66. After that, he dropped to 40 and 46, and we called that off seasons for him. So I think that's an easy over for me at 49.
Junior.
Man, I damn, this is tough. I'm gonna go slightly over. You'll be between 50 and 55.
All right. Owen Tippett, 25.5 goals. Over or under?
How much was that?
25.5.
Ooh. 27, 28, and 20. I'll go with under. 20.
Really?
I think you'll be 25. So I'm gonna go under.
Wow.
I think you'll be 25 on the nose.
Vince.
I'm going to go over because I went over with Zegras. He's going to be playing with Zegras the whole time. So if I expect Zegras to have more than 50 points, Tippett's going to be the one who's going to put them in because there's no other player playing on that second line with him.
All right.
Tell you what, if he goes back to shooting 289 times, then I see the over happening. He only had 188 shots on goal. That's 100 shots less than the year before. So if he can go over 200 shots on goal, I would have given him the over, but we'll see.
Okay. Travis Konechny, 74.5 points. This time I'll go with Junior. Over or under?
Give me on Steady Eddie. I'll go over.
Vince.
I'll go with the over because he's going to want to play on Team Canada, so he's going to have a hell of a beginning of the season.
So once again, Philly fans, we believe. We believe in this team, except Junior, who said that 25 goals is the only thing.
First of all, you didn't even say anything.
I know. I agree though with the overs. I think all these are overs, to be honest with you. And again, it's a lot of it has to do with Tocchet. I think he's a very good coach. Granted, he hasn't won a lot in the playoffs, but as a regular season coach, he seems to get the most out of his players. So I'm believing in him to really make this team much better than it was last year. All right, who's next?
Prospects, my friends. I mean, listen, most of the prospects are playing right now, but they just got Porter Martone.
Love him.
So he's their number one prospect, obviously. I hear they have Igor Zavrajin. Highly athletic presence between the pipes. Oh, is he a goalie?
Between the pipes
No.
as a goalie.
Usually.
No. Do they actually have a goalie in the pipeline?
Well,
Sorry,
even
guys.
Carson Bjarnason.
Yeah.
Jesus, good for them. So he's their number two. He's their tier two. And then, man, then you have Luchenko, Mortag, Nesbitt, who they drafted this year, Denver Barkey, Alex Bump, Oliver Bonk. So I'm just surprised Jeff Luchenko is in the tier three for them in prospects. I feel he could have been. Well, mind you, he was a
Well,
high
what
draft pick, right?
whose list are you using? That's tier 3.
This is the hockey writers.
Oh, okay.
So they basically do it in tier ones, tier two, tier three. and Luchanko is in the tier 3.
Yeah,
Their thing is
I think middle
speedy.
six. That means middle six player.
Yeah, basically a speedy center with playmaking and two-way ability. Have no doubt that his traits will be useful in the NHL. Playing for a low-ranking Gulf Storm team didn't help his numbers, but only scoring 56 points across 46 games as a draft +1 Ontario League player does make question a top 6 future. So they're
All
saying
right,
it's because of his OHL season. It's they put him in the tier 3. But that's it.
all right.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, he was a reach when
Yeah,
he
he was.
was
Yeah,
drafted. Then he
exactly.
had a good camp last year, and everybody got excited. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But Nick, you like Jack Murtaugh, no?
Jack Murtaugh is a guy that they drafted this year. They also drafted Deswagnier, didn't they?
No,
Or that was our mock draft. Now I'm getting confused.
No,
no,
that
the
was
Mark draft. Porter Marton. They draft him.
Oh yeah. So Porter Martone is their big,
Marton.
big
Yeah.
prospect right now. Um, and he's a couple of years away, maybe, but he's going to be a great player for them. Again, it's a player on the wing, so their wingers seem to be a little bit stacked right now. Um, and Oliver Bonk, fun player to watch. I think he could do a little bit of everything, be a top four guy for them. So I'm excited for this team's future. I don't think this year is necessarily it for them, but still like their future.
the
Bold
guy you were
prediction.
thinking about was Jack Nesbitt, Nick.
Yeah.
Jack Nesbitt, yeah.
Bold predictions. Any bold predictions? Make it bold. Like don't know. Make it bold. Bold prediction for this team. Any player on this team. Just pick a team player and say bold prediction.
I'll say Drysdale
Go.
45
Oh,
points,
wow.
which
Okay.
would technically, and if you don't think that's bold, 45 points would
Oh, it's
basically
very
put
bold.
him top 20 in the league.
Yeah. He was one of mine. What's the other bold, Drew?
Samuel Urson gets above 900 save
That's never
percentage
going to happen.
and under 3 goals against average
That's just being
in 40
That's
games
just
or
dumb.
more.
that's
I'm
just being
kidding.
unrealistic. I'm gonna go
That's
with Mitch.
unrealistic.
I'm gonna go with Mitchkov 40 goals.
Mishkov 40
Mitchkov 40
goals. That's
goals.
Yeah,
boring.
that's what I'm gonna go with. All right. Who's the second team we're talking about?
That finishes off the Philadelphia Flyers. The second team we're going to talk about is another bottom dweller. But they did get the first overall pick this year, the New York Islanders. So they keep the same coach. They have a new GM. They traded away Dobson. They drafted Schaefer, amongst others that we'll get to later. What's your overall view for the New York Islanders heading into this season? They seem to be a veteran group, so they don't have much young punch just yet. So what do we expect from them? Are they trending up? Are they trending down? Are they a little bit stagnant? If you ask me, I think they're a little bit stagnant, if not trending down, until their guys are ready to really come join them in the NHL.
I would
Vince,
say I would say they're rebuilding. Like I mean they're not trending upwards, that's for sure. I think they're you know what, with this team you can actually use the word retool because they got the first overall pick. So I'll use that word. I think they're retooling this year. I think they signed some vets just to give their young guys a bit more time to develop and come up uh, into the NHL. They did get one of the most outed free agent out there in Shabanov. So listen, I think it's a team that's rebuilding and as of next year will be trending up.
fair enough. Nick?
I think that Matthew Darsh is going to do great things for this team. Um, I understand that might not be the year that necessarily he does it, but you could see already in one draft how nice this team's going to look in a few years. So, if we're talking about this year specifically, I don't know about trending up. I think they are going to probably take a step back, but it's in order to take two steps forward as people start maturing. And very interesting team though to look at, especially like Jonathan Drouin. Obviously, he was a bit of a McKinnon merchant. We'll get into the top six there, but uh, I think that there's a lot of things to look at. Don't yawn. Don't yawn on the podcast. No, no, Junior. This is not a boring team, Junior.
There's no more Lou
Uh,
Lamoriello Jr. It's over the Lou Lamoriello.
I know,
They
They
but
could
could grow
shave
beards.
again.
They could have
it's
a
gonna
mustache.
be
They
it's
could
gonna
have
be
sideburns.
it's
People
gonna
could
be a
shave.
boring season for them.
Oh
You
boy,
think?
It's gonna be a boring season for them. It's gonna be a really boring season for them.
really? You
I
think
see
As
so?
some.
they,
I
they, they
see.
don't they don't have much yet. Like I like what they did in the offseason. I like
Their
the young
draft was
guys. Like they
spectacular.
went from
Yeah.
not having a prospect pool to now
Don't
starting to
ruin.
build
Don't
something really nice.
don't
So
start
like
talking about prospects.
from that point of view, I'm not mentioning names. I'm saying from that point of view, I like where they're trending. But as a whole, heading into the new season, it's going to be another long season for them. I don't, I don't, I don't see, I don't see it going well.
No,
Sorry.
they'll have a higher percentage of getting the first overall pick this year than they had last year.
Yes,
Well,
because they won the lottery, right? So
if you look at this, they have guys like Maxim Tsiplikov, who came in last year, who I didn't know this at the time, but he's a hit monster. Like the guy hits 150 times a season. Um, they have obviously Matthew Schaefer, um, who's an interesting player to look at. And they also have Shabanov, who's another interesting player that they're getting from the KHL this year. So I think there's interesting players there. D'Angelo, I should check to see if D'Angelo is available in our Dauber league. But D'Angelo is another guy that came over from the KHL and just seems to click. He's going to probably be a power play quarterback. So I think there's interesting things in this team. It's not going to be a boring team to watch.
I think their top six is a bit. It's going to be a bit of a blender mix all season long. I mean, Bo Harvat and Barzal, are going to be the number one, number two sentiments. I don't see Drew and Palmieri staying as the number one wingers.
Okay,
I
you say that, but
mhm.
like, should we do our top six right now?
yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
I thought you already started top six. Sorry, Nick.
Sorry. So Bo Horvat is your number one guy. He had some good points last year. Like he was
Mm.
fantasy relevant last year.
Oh yeah.
Matthew Barzal is your number two guy, like Vince said. Um, Kyle Palmer, Kyle Palmieri. Um, he actually ended up having last year 24 goals, 24 assists for 48 points. Um, it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. And in the year before that, he had 30 goals. So this is somebody that's a grizzled veteran that plays a role on a team, right? Um, Jonathan Drouin, like I mentioned before, started with he was the McKinnon merchant that started getting another shot here. We'll see if he could keep up the playmaking abilities, but this he might improve their power play, so that's going to be something to look at. Anders Lee is somebody that Vince hates supposedly. Um,
I
but
don't hate. I
Anders,
just think he's on the decrease. He's on the coming down the slope type of player.
well, because of age, you're saying, right?
Yeah, yeah, he's 35.
Yeah, but he still had 29 goals last year,
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
and he had 25 assists, 54 points. So,
Played
you
82
know,
games.
he had 232 shots on goal. He had 120 hits. Like, you're still talking about a player that was productive in his year 34 season. So he's not a nobody, this guy. So I feel like they have fantasy relevant players here, and there's even guys like Shabanov who we don't know what he's going to turn
mm,
into. We still have a Tsiplikov who, again, he seemed to have some points last year. He seemed to do some stuff last year. So
He
top
seemed to
six, I
play
think.
hockey.
Yeah, well, Simon Holmstrom is one of those guys that has been a prospect forever.
That's the guy I'm looking at, honestly. I think he cracks the top six.
Well, so far Daily Faceoff has him there, but okay. So why don't you go with that, Junior? Why is he a top sixer for you?
Okay, nobody expected anything from him last year. He scored 20 goals in 75 games for a 23-year-old at the time. He's
Hmm.
entering his 24-year-old season, so I expect another boost. He only played like just under 17 minutes a game. I mean, nobody on this team really got crazy minutes on offense other than probably Bo Horvat and maybe Kyle Palmieri. If you give him that boost in minutes, he can produce even more. And I'll save my projection for him for my bold take. But I see him in the top six for the season, the whole season.
Hmm.
All right. Okay, that's fair.
I I'm not gonna sleep on Emil Heinemann. I'm really not. I think
The local boy
if they really wanted him for the
on his
he
third
was
team.
no, but he was a key piece for them to give to trade for
Of course,
Dobson.
yes.
So when you're trading away, it's because you see something in this player that he can give you. We saw it with Montreal with limited time, what he could do. Now he obviously died out during the second end of the season, but I mean, you can't tell me that he can't be better than Drouin or Andres Lee or at least get a shot on that top six. I would have said Anthony Duclair also, but I don't know, him and Roy last year did not end on the right note. Now I know Roy said that he personally went to see him and they spoke about it, but I don't know. I'd keep a very close eye on Heineman.
I think Duclair stepped away, right? He needed to step away from the game for a bit
I don't remember
last
what
year.
the story
So
is, but then when he came back, Roy had made
yeah,
a comment, and that was on the borderline of inappropriate.
So, I mean, if I'm looking at this, I would basically say that Heineman doesn't necessarily have a top six role this year, but might have one in the near future, especially because he seems to be a similar player to Anders Lee in the fact that he could actually pot goals. Like
Mm,
he wasn't he only scored 10, but if you actually watch the game, he has an amazing shot.
yeah,
He's a great hitter. Like I think the Islanders got a player here, not necessarily maybe as good as Anders Lee will. Maybe he'll never be as good as Anders Lee, but he's a player that could play that role.
mm,
Um, when it comes to their defense, now this is the part that's a little bit more, I'll say, interesting, because they have the veterans that have been there forever in Adam Pellick and Ryan Pulak, and they have the young hitting defensive defenseman in Alexander Romanov, who's been part of their top six, and they just renewed him for a lengthy deal. And they replaced Dobson with Tony DeAngelo as a stopgap to give them some offense right now, until I guess Matthew Schaefer is ready for that offensive role. And they have Scott Mayfield as well. There's not much else there, but what do we see here? Like I looked up Adam Pellick because I wanted to see if he provides any hits, blocks. He's a block machine. But what else does he really do? Nothing. Like literally nothing. So what do we see here who might be fantasy relevant?
well, Tony DeAngelo was fantasy relevant last year when he came in. And now without Dobson, he's got to be the go-to guy, especially if Schaefer starts the year in juniors. So
yeah,
yeah,
I
I mean, Adam Bolquist was playing forward at some points last year, but yeah, other than I mean, look, Pellet, Vince, he had 20 assists, so it's not he didn't have any goals to go with that. So
but their defense was also a bit all over the place. I think Tony DeAngelo is the guy that you're looking to. He's a Gothenburg type of guy, except I still think that that power play will be the quarterback of that power play will be Jonathan Drouin on that first line. So in defense, I feel D'Angelo will be there, will be the guy, but I'm not sure he can put up Gothenburg numbers. But it'll be interesting to see. And the biggest question is Schaefer going to be coming in the league right away, or are we going to send him to the juniors for another year and then make him develop there? That's the big question.
We should note sign his entry level contract tonight.
Yeah, which I feel seems like he's going to play in the NHL this year.
Well, we'll get to that in our over unders, right, Nick?
Yes, I believe we shall.
That sums up our lineups breakdown, or did you want to
I
add
should say
anything?
Pellick. Okay, so like offensive defenseman, we're talking D'Angelo, and we're talking Schaefer, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Pollock has lost his
Yeah,
top
I
power
think so.
play spot a while ago, but he
Pollock
might
and
be like a
Pellick have
third
nice
guy.
peripherals, and they'll squeeze in 20 to 25 points.
Yeah, like so Pellick played 60 games last year, 20 points only one power play point, 72 hits, 87 blocks. I mean, again, the 82, like I mentioned, he doesn't do much. 87 blocks. If you prorate it over an 82 game season, it's maybe over 100. And maybe the hits gets near there too, but that's not much. It's not much. Like you
Yeah,
could find peripheral guys, I find.
Pollock had better peripherals, and so
Yeah,
did Romanov.
exactly.
So I would take more either of those two before taking Pellick. Yeah.
Yeah, for the bash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for the top sixes, guys. What
Listen,
about goaltending?
goaltending, Nick. It's Sorokin, and Sorokin. I mean, he's at 8.3 million this year. I think it's the first year with that new contract. Listen, last year Islanders were not a good team, but he still put up decent numbers. I mean, 30 wins, 24 losses, 4 shutouts, 2.69 goals against, 907 save percentage, 37 quality starts. I think Varlamov being injured hurt him a bit because I think he had to play a bit more games than he should have.
Do we know if
But
Varlamov is coming back?
he's there. He's still on the roster, so I think from what I understood, his injury could have been could make him start the season, but they're not sure yet. And then you
And
have
is
David.
signed. Yeah,
Yeah, he signed. So, and you had David Ritchie that came in. I mean, put on decent
what's
numbers.
his name?
2.8. David Ritchie.
Riddich.
Riddich. I can call him Richie. It's better.
Richie
It's better.
Rich.
It's
But
better.
2.81 goals against average, 0.88 save percentage. So, I mean, goalie, you're looking at Sorokin, you're looking at 60 starts minimum for Sorokin next year. How well will you do with a defense in front of him? That's the $1 million question. Um, but I mean, there's not much to say. It's not you don't drop Sorokin, and Sorokin is not going to be available in any of your dynasty leagues. Hopefully not. If he is, then there's a problem with your dynasty league. But yeah, that's it. So I feel it's Sorokin, 30 years old. He's about to get into his prime as a goalie. So we will see. Well, it all depends how their team in general plays for Sorokin's numbers.
I mean, we mentioned it a little bit when we spoke about the Rangers and Shesterkin. Sorokin came into the league and put up such amazing numbers that now when he puts up good numbers, we think it's average or that he
Or
sucked.
bad, yeah.
Yeah, so like he still had a goals against average of 2.69, like you said, and over 900 save percentage. But because we're used to seeing him at 925 save percentage or under 240 save goals against average, we automatically just assume that he didn't do those numbers, that he sucks or he had a bad season. So he's going to get more losses because the team is not good in front of him. It's as simple as that. But if you get points for saves or save percentage or goals against average, he could still help you out in that department for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what I mean. There's not much to say about the goalies in with the Islanders. I mean, Sorokin's number one, and he'll be there for the next 5 years. So that's it.
Well, speaking of not much to say, there's not much to say about their power play either. If we thought the Flyers were bad, the New York Islanders were second worst, and the Flyers were third worst. with 12.6% power play efficiency. Yeah, that's not great. There's been an influx of players on this team, so their top power play unit could change. I mean, D'Angelo's probably the a staple. Same with, so let's say they'll have D'Angelo, they'll have Barzal or Vat. I'm assuming they signed Jonathan Drouin so he could be on power play one. And they're probably going to give Anders Lee, who scored 29 goals, a shot. I don't know how effective that's going to be, to tell you the truth. I told you before, I like Holmstrom earning a spot on that number one power play at some point. But yeah, I'm not even going to say their second unit. It's probably going to be like Shabanov, Tsiplikov, Pajot. And you know what? They even have Palmieri. Like, honestly, like this power play unit is going to be, like Vince said earlier about the forwards, the top six. It's going to be a blender. Whatever is going to work that game, that's what they're going to go with. And it might be different the next game. So I don't think there's a fixture other than D'Angelo, maybe Barzal and Horvat. The rest, throw a dart, see where it lands.
I agree. I agree. I think the power play is very set in stone. There's not that many offensive players here. So they're going to have to load up on one power play and then go from there.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah.
just curious to see, because Palmieri was so effective last year, and now you went to get Drouin. Does Drouin knock out Palmieri, or does maybe Anders Lee
they
start?
play such a different role, though. Palmieri is like the net front guy that shoots, and Drouin is the setup guy on the half wall.
That's it. Like, I find Drouin and Barzal are very similar players on the power play.
I don't know about that. I think
No.
Because Barzal was always on the half wall. So now
yeah, but there's two half walls.
I want to see who shoots right and who shoots left. But yeah,
I know that
I'm
I know
not
that
sold on
Barzal
Drouin.
has. I know that Barzal has played right wing on Horvat's line in the past.
Yeah.
So I think he's right-handed, whereas Drouin is left-handed.
Drouin shoots left, Barzal shoots right.
Yeah,
So
there
they
you go.
can play on both half boards.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll see. Nick, over unders. What are we looking at for the Islanders?
Oh, good point here. I like that. You're on the ball, you.
On the ball.
Schaefer,
Bouncy
9.5
ball?
games played. Over or under Vince? Does he start? Basically, does he play a full
yeah,
year
yeah,
or half
for
a
sure.
year?
That's as soon as he signs his ECL, you know,
ACL
ECL.
is already
ECL.
projecting an injury.
Oh, jeez.
No, but
ELC.
You heard it here first.
ELC. As soon as he signed his entry level contract, you know he's gonna play over 9 games.
So just because you sign your entry level contract does not mean that you're going to
No, it does not
burn
mean
a year.
Yes, but they
You don't burn a year unless you play more than 9 games.
yes, but they're gonna burn the year because they're gonna want to give him the experience. I definitely say over.
Okay, perfect. Vince, Junior.
I'm going under, and I think it's because he didn't get enough reps in juniors because of injuries. I think they would be doing him a disservice to put him in the NHL right away. I say you send them, and I say they're going to send them back to juniors for one more year. Under.
Okay. All right, I'm good with that. Jonathan Drouin, 56.5 points. Over or under Junior? You already mentioned that you kind of don't believe in him.
Yeah, no, I'm going under. Easy under.
Vince?
Yeah, I'm going under. I don't feel he's gonna be sticking around in the top line, and he'll be on the power play, but there's no way he'll put up. I don't believe he'll put up more than 50.
I don't believe he'll do it either. I kind of hope he will, but I don't believe it. Next, Barzal, 71.5 points, over or under?
Wow, 71.5 points, Barzal.
Again, it's going to come down to health. He's paced 72. He's had the year before he had 80 points in 80 games. Who the hell is the real Barzal? I mean, this guy, everyone's just waiting, is dying for him to hit his stride. You know, everyone knows what he could be. but he hasn't hit his stride for various reasons, whether it's just a slump or whether it's injuries. Give me 71 and a half. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go over. Slightly over.
Wow. Listen, Barzal needs power play points to hit that 71, and I don't see power play being better than last year with this team. I don't think they made enough changes to be, and they took out Brock Nelson, who was on their number one power play. So I know, give me the under on 71 for him.
But to be fair, it wasn't good because he only played 30 games, Barzal.
Yeah, but even if you look at in when he was
But
projected for 82 points, he had 25 points on the power play.
mm,
So that power play has to be good, or else, and I don't believe it will. Not
Well,
yet,
that all
anyways.
depends on the next person that we're going to talk about, which is Tony D'Angelo.
Mm.
Over under 50.5.
Over
wow.
under 50.5. For me, that's a definite under. Y- I mean, you can't just get power play points and decide that you're going to be a 50-point player. And I don't think he does the other aspects of the game very well. I think him and Uruguay are going to clash at some point because of his game. So to me, it's a definitely under.
I'm gonna go
Junior,
over. For me, it's an over. I think his deployment is too good for it not to be over. His sample size was enough for me to believe he could do it. Last year, he paced for 45 points. I think in his first full year with the Islanders, if he could stay healthy and the team stays healthy, their power play is much better. Look, out of the 19 points he had, only four were on the power play. I mean, it's a quarter almost. But again, his time on ice was 23 minutes. I don't see that changing much. So give me the over 50 points. This is going to be a good fantasy ad, and in cap leagues, he's going to be gold.
yeah, I'll say it's under, but just slightly. I think he's going to be in that 40-point range. And again, like we said, 40-point range in the NHL is top 30 defenseman.
Mm.
So I think that's fair for D'Angelo. I don't think that he's going to be a top 10 defenseman. So I'm not going higher than 40 for him. 50-point defenseman was, again, Thomas Harley. I don't see him being as good as Thomas Harley or John Carlson in that sense. So I'll hit the 40 and I'll hit the under there. All right, that's it for over and unders, guys. What about our bold takes for this year?
Oh, what about the prospects, Nick?
What about the prospects for this
Come
year?
on, I
We should
know,
They
hit the
actually did
prospects
some good
before.
Nick,
work there. Come on, we got
Nick,
to talk about.
like you said, the prospect pool was very dim before, and then last year, in the last 2 years, they just filled up their prospect pool with just legit players. We'll start obviously with Matthew Schaefer as their number one prospect that they picked yesterday. Uh, Callum
Yesterday.
Ritchie, not
Yesterday.
well, they signed him, but Callum
Oh, they
Ritchie that
signed
they
him.
got in the Brock Nelson trade. He's a sneaky little prospect that has some offensive flair and could be very useful for the Islanders. And then you got the goal scorer in Cole Eiserman as another prospect, and then the next two are the ones they picked. If I'm not mistaken, back to back, Victor Eklund and Kashan Atchison,
Kayshawn Aitchison.
Keishan
Aitchison.
Aitchison. So yeah, so I mean, those are their top five prospects. It would look, like I said, that's in the past 2 years. If we would look at the prospects before that, there wasn't much.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, Simon Holmstrom, I think, is a homegrown talent there,
Yeah, but
but
he's
he's
already
not a
played.
prospect anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, but the prospect line looks nice. They still have some work to do to fill it up. But they're building the right direction.
Yeah, I'm excited for this team. First of all, to see how the mismatch of players is, because don't forget, Jonathan Drouin and Duclair were both Patrick Roy junior players.
Uh-huh.
So I'm curious to see what that's going to look like. And then, I mean, I'm very curious to see what Barzal, because I own him in Lama. So Very curious to see what he could do there. If there's any bounce back, if he has a setup guy now in Joel on the power play, maybe that's gonna increase his points. So I'm curious to see what it turns out to be on the island. Definitely a fun fan base, great goaltending. Hopefully, some competitive games, and Matthew Schaefer is going to be fun to watch as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Nick, do you think he plays in the NHL more than 9 games?
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I'm not sure if he will, but I'd like to see it. I'd like to see him there the whole year, just because it's going to be something fun to watch for the Islanders more than anything.
Or something to watch?
Yeah, you're
That's
so negative, so negative.
bold takes, boys. Bold takes. What are your bold takes, Nick?
My bold take is that they win another lottery.
Wow, that's your bold take, huh?
No, my bold take is that they move from 30th in power play percentage and they jump to 20th, which is 10 is quite a bit
That's a lot.
to jump.
Drew?
My bold take is Simon Holmstrom scores 30 goals.
Wow, that's pretty
My
bold.
bold take is Heineman scores 25 goals.
That's huge. That's
Wow.
that's for a fourth liner. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, bad because I don't believe he'll be on the fourth line. I think he'll crack one of those top 6 spots.
I hope you're right, because I like the player.
Yeah.
I hope you're right.
So what are your final standings for the what division did we just do?
Metropolitan.
So Nick,
We just finished the Metro.
so what do you see in division like standing wise?
Well, I think we mentioned it already. We had guests for the top 4 teams in this division already. So we had guests basically who did Carolina. We have.
Junior,
Why is the volume jumping?
What's chopping?
The volume
music
of
just
the
became loud
music
during
is going up, is going down.
Nick,
That's not me.
Anyways.
I'm not touching.
no hesitation.
It's probably the way producer Vince recorded it.
What's your
Anyways.
what standings of that Metro? It's not a difficult question.
It
Give
is
me-
a very difficult question.
give
I
me
have to
one
remember all the
point.
teams. Carolina first,
Yeah,
Washington second, New Jersey third,
yeah.
and then at fourth, I'm going to go with Columbus,
Okay,
and then everybody else misses place.
perfect. Junior.
I'm gonna go Columbus. Columbus.
Columbus
Carolina,
first.
The Carolina first. I'm gonna go with Washington second. New Jersey, Columbus, the Rangers, the Flyers, and then the Islanders, and then the Penguins.
Yeah. Listen, I think we're all in agreement. Carolina. I think New Jersey is gonna hit that second spot. I don't think Washington is there. Washington's gonna decrease to a third spot. Columbus, the fourth spot, and after that, I mean Pittsburgh last, and then Philly and Islanders can fight for the sixth spot.
Well, like Neil said, they have to stay healthy.
Yeah, the New
If,
Jersey. Yeah,
if New Jersey wants to do anything, they have to stay healthy.
Yeah.
At some point, they're just gonna have to do it, and
Yeah.
we're gonna have to stop asking that question and believe it when it happens.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Agreed.
All right, guys, that does it. Please don't forget to subscribe to YouTube, follow us on our socials at Partial Break Pod, TikTok, X, Instagram, and more importantly, just download. Guys, give us 5-star reviews. Our reviews are very important on any audio platform you listen to. We appreciate you guys. You've been participating and engaging in our posts, especially with our over-under takes. Keep that going. We love that. We're responding, and we just want to be able to tease you when you're wrong.
And we'd like to mute you when we're wrong.
Yeah, we get that regardless. So,
Yeah.
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 That's
Guys, thank you
the-
for listening.
Have a
does
good
it.
night, peeps.
Been a
Have
lot
a
of
good
fun.
night.
The Metro was a lot of fun.
We're
Yep.
doing the Central next. We're going to West.
Next week, Central. Do we have any guests lined up there, Junior?
As of right now, for next episode, no. But the episode after, we have a guest for Colorado to preview Colorado, and
Okay.
we're working on getting a guest to preview. We're hoping Ryan comes back from Starcastic to do
Dallas.
the Dallas Stars,
Yeah.
and then
Nice.
That'd be
we'll
fun.
see what else we can get.
Great guest.
All right.
All right.
Good night.
Peace.
Good night, everybody.